All right, all right. What's going on? Right, Stat Boy can hear me, and I won't know if he's going to be working here until I pull him in. Using some new software here, chat. So if anybody's hanging out here early, we do appreciate it. But hold up. Oh, there's T Green. There's Doughboys here. MJ's in the chat. What's going on, gentlemen? All right. I don't know if you guys did. You guys hear the music in the intro? I don't know what it really captures on StreamYard. Oh, we're gonna go ahead. We actually have a special guest here today from the big brain side. Just a stat boy himself. If we can hear him, we didn't test it out. Going on, bro?
Let's test it out now.
There we go. We are good. Look at that technology working as intended. What's going on, man?
It's pretty good. As you can see, we have this show match lined up for tonight, so it's kind of exciting to see how it all goes. Since this is my first time on the stream as well, so it's also kind of exciting to be here and to chat with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we've. I feel like I talk to everybody in the community sometimes. There's always some new people that pop up, and I'm like, you know what, man? I just kind of got sidetracked, and when you reached out about doing the show, I was like, hey, you know what? Why not, man? Kill two birds with one stone. New content and get a chance to meet some new people. So really do appreciate you popping on and again reaching out to handle the show matches here. So I'm excited, man. Should be pretty good. I know we got 7 matches, right? You want to give everybody a breakdown on how it works?
Yeah, we're going to have actually first thing to say, we are also expecting someone from the stables to join a bit later. Maybe even 2 of those guys. I'm not sure exactly how they organized it, but they will also join. They should also join the stream a bit later. So we're basically having a show match with our friends from these tables. It will be 7 races. It will be basically, this time we had to work with the races that were available on schedule because we were kind of organizing this thing on the fly. So we will have 7 races that fit time-wise in the schedule, that fit this broadcast and everything. And we're going to have 2 horses from each stable enter in every race, and of course everyone else is welcome to join us and to race against us. And it will be a good way to see if it's us or if it's these stables guys who takes the win.
Yeah, man, I think this is awesome. I think obviously I spoke to you about it in DMs. I was like, hey man, we could do like a full-blown WWF, what you gonna do, brother? You know what I'm saying? We could like have some fun with it, depending how far people want to go with it. But I'm all about a good rivalry, building some storylines, and again, things we can talk about months from now. Where it's like, hey, remember that? Remember that weekend where we kicked your ass over there at these tables, or they put the herd on Big Brain, right? Like, this is what it's all about, man. We can sit around trying to, protect our bags and, Talk ahead, good.
Yeah, I mean, this should be fun. The entire game, the entire concept should be fun more than anything else. That's the first thing. That's the most important thing. That's why we're here. And then after that, after all the engagement and the engagement with the community and everything, after that, it's all about winning and making money and making profit and all that. But in the long run, this game is so good that it should be beneficial for everyone who is involved. So until we get to that point, we are here to have fun and we're here to compete with others and hopefully to kick their ass, obviously, since this is the first time that we have a show match like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, shout out to everybody in chat. See, Latude is here. What's going on, Latude? He said, how did you guys choose the races? You said it was just based on what was on the schedule?
Yeah, this time it was literally based on what we had on schedule for tonight, because we wanted to do it tonight, like last day before the breeding season starts. So it had to be today. It had to be tonight. And then after that, we're basically looking at what races are available in short time frame that we can use for streaming purposes. And then we basically selected the 7 races that kind of fit our stables best as far as available horses that we have. And one thing that we absolutely wanted to do was to make sure that all those races were either on a future racetrack or on Golden Empire, I think. That's what the Death Stables racetrack is called. Let me see.
Oh, you mean for the
Yeah, Golden
stake
Empire. Yeah,
ownership?
yeah,
Okay.
because we are majority owners on Future Race Course, and they are majority owners on the Golden Empire. So we wanted those two tracks to be represented here tonight. So that's what we worked with. But in the meantime, whenever we do this next thing, we will work with third time guys to have more custom made schedule and see if we can get some like more popular races or however it goes for next time.
Right, that's a good point, right? Because is a part of the appeal of being majority track owner, right? Is you're gonna be able to set,
Right.
race schedules and stuff like that. Right? I know it's not implemented right
Yeah.
now, but I mean, ideally, they would. I would hope they would work with you guys in the early stages until they get that part up and running. Because yeah, like you said, you have majority stake. Why not take advantage? Get someone like me or whatever call the races, and then you guys have yourselves your races. Because I mean, that's your track, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm sure that they're working on that. I was talking to Ian about some options for majority owners several times, and we exchanged some ideas and everything. So I'm really looking forward to all the options that majority owners will have in the future. They are working on it, so it should be available soon. And for now, yeah, I mean, we will just work with third time guys to adjust that schedule as needed for next show match when we have that, and just you know add some races that will fit both us and our opponents to make them more popular and more appealing. This time we had to go with like two maidens and I think two allowances and two stakes. So different types of races are represented, but they do not always represent our strongest preferences or our strongest, horse grades or whatever. So for tonight, we are working with what we have, and for next time, we hope to kind of have it a bit more custom made.
Beautiful. Yeah, I'm looking at the schedule here. Again, we have 7 races, guys. 358 is the first one coming up, the Cherry Blossom. We got the Kai Pond at 425. It's a handicap. Snow Monkey is a maiden, A- grade maiden. Stakes race, Monterey Bay at 443. And the Enchanted Forest is going to be the 501 race. And then 504 is the Mojave. We're going to wrap it up with the Death Valley at 507. Yeah, there's an allowance on the Death Valley. The Mojave is a maiden. The Enchanted Forest and allowance. Yeah, so I mean, like I said, a little bit of a mix of racing here. And yeah, this is cool, man. Like I said, I'm definitely excited to see some stories, start to be formed here.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned the WWF pro wrestling kind of parallel to all this. So today I was going around the city. I was looking for Macho Man, Randy Savage glasses, and bandana or whatever, but I couldn't find any for tonight. But I hope to get it for next time.
Oh man, that would be sick, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's some
always
of my
wanted to
favorite.
play Macho Man.
Yeah, I mean, if you're old, I don't dox people how old everybody is like me sometimes, but growing up in the 80s, you know what I'm saying? For me, it was always like, what you gonna do, brother? Take your vitamins, say your prayers, and then Macho Man, like, we are Macho Man, Randy Savage, me and Miss Elizabeth. Oh yeah, snap it to a Slim Jim. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude,
He was awesome.
I love those days. you know,
Yeah, he was
um,
awesome. He was such a character. He was just great.
unfortunately, I think Hogan's the only one left alive. Really,
Yeah,
I don't want to get morbid on it here, but I think right, Macho Man's gone. Sensational Sherry was gone.
yeah.
Uh,
Elizabeth also. It's such a
Miss
it's
Elizabeth
it's
too. Yeah.
kind of, yeah, it's a downer kind of to talk about those things, but you can always remember the good times, the good memories that you have from all those people, and just keep them in that good spotlight. At least I can
Yep.
in my head.
Exactly.
So yeah.
100%. Doughboy says, Big Brain, I really hope Cross Stream needed it more than any horse did in the RTF 5 furlong allowance. Okay. And shout out to Aaron the Gods and chat. What's going on, Aaron? Speaking of spotlights, I want to spotlight some positive here. We do the first race coming up in 1:22. And again, most of the time when I see your guys in a race, I shiver because I know I'm going up against you guys and it pisses me off because I don't want to. While we have you representing your side here, want to tell us a little bit about Nightcrawler and Gideon before, or Gideon, did I say it wrong? Before the race?
Yeah. Well, actually, as you probably know, we have three. We are actually divided in three different stables based on the race direction. So we have right dirt, right turf, and left stable in our here in Big Brain. So basically, personally, I run the right dirt stable. So the only race I can tell you super lot more about is the right dirt race that we're going to have later, the stakes race. The left race here,
Okay,
that's
fair
run
enough.
by one of my colleagues, but I know that Nightcrawler is actually super strong, ass horse in left turf, and I know that he's one of those horses that's never at the top, but he can always hit and create an upset and win some big races. That's why I really like him, and that's why I think that he can win this one as well.
Hell yeah, I know these tables has Slow Gary and Duppy Dupree, who I come across quite a bit here in my calls. But it's race time now. Let's get down for the first race, see who's going to score the first point.
Okay, this should be fun.
Let me know in chat if you guys can hear the actual race stream, because now I'm concerned about audio on StreamYard, but it's post time in the gate. And they're racing here in the opener. It's Slow Gary, not so slow as usual. Shoots out to the lead. Then comes Duffy Dupree. Nightcrawler's going to tuck in there for third, down at the rail. And Gideon's going to rack out the top of the four here in this four-horse race. Quartet turns into the opening quarter. And there is my alarm. 10 furlong race here, going left on the turf. Track is good. Around the first turn they go here, and it's D-Stable's runner, Slow Gary up top. Down at the rail comes Nightcrawler, Duffy Dupree there in third. Another break of two is Gideon, rounding out the four here. Opening quarter and 25 and change as they pass the wire for the first time. Everybody wave to your current leader. That is Nightcrawler crawling past the wire here, but now engaged once again by Slow Gary. Slow Gary goes right on by, splitting them up from between. There goes Gideon. Gideon says, don't let the door hit you with a good Lord split you, but he's trying to find some room, and he is back up in the second now. Slow Gary shoots up in the first, about 2.5 length lead over Gideon. Nightcrawler there even, back at the rail, now being passed by Duffy Dupree. I was a little distracted here by that swift move by Duffy Dupree on the backstretch here. Duffy Dupree means business now at 2.6 to 1 and shoots to the lead. Duffy Dupree up top now, Slow Gary there, passed by Gideon. Nightcrawler now tucks in fourth. Only about 3 lengths from back to front though, 3/4 and 1:15 as this field is making their way to the far turn. It's anybody's game. 3 furlongs left to go, chat. Slow Gary now up top. Duffy Dupree trying to round some gear here on the outside, about 4 lengths on the outside even. It's Duffy Dupree now, pokes the nose in front. Slow Gary drops back to second. Nightcrawler is trying to get going here, down at the rail. Nightcrawler is off the rail and looking for tail, and he found clearance. Duffy Dupree up top, though, as they cross here into the 8th pole. Duffy Dupree by 2, Nightcrawler there. Slow Gary might have called it a day, and Gideon chasing butterflies. Past 100 meters we go, and it's going to be Duffy Dupree here in the opener over Nightcrawler and Slow Gary. Well, I know you don't want to really see that, but that's one for D Stables here in the first race.
Yeah, that was a good start for these tables. We were kind of hoping to steal this one, like I said, with Nightcrawler, but that's okay. That's okay for start.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it's any consolation, it was a hell of a race. I'm sure chat enjoyed that one. I know I did. So let me ask you this, Mr. Stat God. What's your biggest angle in photo finish? I know we have a little bit of time here before you guys' next race. I do want to bring up another tool that I've been using here on my end. But just before I dive into that, what's your biggest angle? I know you said you run the right barn?
Right dirt. Right dirt barn. Yeah.
Right dirt.
Yep.
Are you mainly more of an owner? You gonna be more of a breeder, wagerer, gambler, or a track owner? Like, what's your biggest angle here in photo finish?
Well, yeah. The interesting thing about that is that
there's always an answer to. So,
yeah, the interesting thing is how it evolved over time and how it developed, especially for myself. Because originally, when I joined the project, I was just supposed to handle the initial breeding or mating season that was with the PFPs. So I was supposed to just handle that, and then other guys were supposed to race the actual races and stables and stuff. But then it was the whole process was so interesting, and the community was so great. It was so much fun, and I saw so much potential in that I realized that I have to stick around for this, you know. And that's why I picked Right Dirt stable for myself, because it was supposed to be the smallest stable, because Right Dirt soft horses are just there's only a handful of them, like only 4% in the entire game between Gen Zeros, right? So that was the original idea. I'm going to run Right Dirt because they're going to be the smallest stable and have the least amount of races. And that's how I ended up with this stable. And then when we started, actually breeding and getting those Gen Zeros, and when I got those beautiful S minus Right Dirt soft horses that we have now, I just realized I'm not changing this. I'm staying on this one. So, for me, it was supposed to be just a temporary thing. And then, like I said, I fell in love with the whole thing, and I just I stick around. And regarding your basic, the original question, for us it's everything, because for big brain stables, we are not just competing here and racing and farming crown and whatever. As most people know, we are also major investors in this game as well. So more than any other stable, basically, we have vested interest for this game to succeed and for everything to take off, and we're really looking forward to that, and we're really loaded up on this for the long run. So whatever needs to be done, if it's racing, if it's breeding, if it's organizing things like this, whatever it takes for this game to succeed and for us to succeed as part of this game, we will be on it. And like I said, this is just the beginning. We are really looking forward to years and years of this stuff. So, in previous betas, it was mostly about breeding, learning how that thing will work, and races were kind of like, yeah, whatever, because it was for funny money. It was not for real money.
Monopoly money, breed with the same couple horses, every week, and
Yeah, it was
and
really
those were good
condensed.
times too, but
So yeah, for us, it's everything that needs to be done to succeed in this game and succeed for the long run. So right now, as you know, it will be breeding season starts tomorrow. I'm sure that there will be a lot of horses that will be retired starting from tomorrow. So we expect, of course, the next couple of seasons to have lesser racing volume, but that might not be a bad thing. We'll be able to kind of focus more on those horses that remain active, that are not retired immediately. We hope to be able to focus more on them and to find maybe a little bit more of an edge, a little bit more good information about them when we start to use them for breeding, to know a little bit more and to kind of have an extra step there.
Give me like an hour. I'm sorry. Yeah, didn't realize my door was open. Say what's up to my uncle. Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. Yeah, and that's I was kind of asked the question because I know a lot of people that I get involved in the project, and they come from different other projects. Some people come from the real world of just gambling, and people I know from real horse racing. So and again, people got different angles. Some people like, hey, I don't really care about the wagering. I'm just going to own a horse. Some people like, hey, I want to own a horse, but I don't really care about the racing. I don't want to pay for racing. I just want to breed and name horses, right? So I always like to ask these questions. I'm also not the greatest host. I'm working on that. I ask a lot of awfully pointed questions, I guess, with a lot of potential answers. But yeah, so I guess what I really enjoy, especially when I speak to like new people like you, is just kind of learning, the background of where you guys really come from. Because I don't really come from a crypto background. I'm a degenerate gambler. I just happen to, find, Zed run horses running in a straight line. It kind of bored me. I was looking at the other projects out there, and then I came across a video of this, and I was like, holy crap, man. I was like, that's a game? Like, that's, and I started looking at the team, and then I found Horse Racing Manager, and I saw, everything they had already done. But at that time, I think the horses were still like $1,000, something like that, maybe a little bit lower, like 800. And, crypto was still, rolling at that point. So it was like Solana was still like $200, $180 or whatever. So for me, it was just kind of like very like, whoa, this is way out of my league. But then, fast forward a few months, markets crash, and I was like, wow, hey, $400 I can come in and grab a
Yep.
horse like I did with Joker, or
Mm,
even 450. So I started recruiting syndicates, different people from different groups of my real world life. Again, some of my video game friends, some of my degenerate gambler friends. I got my uncles in a syndicate with me, with my mother's boyfriend. We all name a horse boy named Sue after my mom because it wasn't a filly, but we wanted to have my mom involved. So again, I have all these different syndicates from like all these different walks of life, but they all have different interests. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's like, oh, I kind of want to
yep.
breed, or I kind of want to gamble. And to me, that's like the most beautiful thing about what they've kind of put together. Now, what about like, did you play any other projects before coming into Photo Finish? And again, we don't really have to talk about them or bash them, but just curious, like your background before,
Uh,
like when it comes to
no,
like
actually,
luxury gaming, maybe.
yeah, similar to like you just mentioned about yourself, I did not have much crypto background at all before I joined this thing. Actually, I was working for one of the Sol Big Brains other companies, other businesses that he has. I was a project manager there, and it was based on, like my nickname says, it was based on statistics and data crunching and all that stuff. So I really did not know much about this project before I got an offer to take it over, and I got this opportunity because I was, good at my original job, good at statistics and the data analysis and all that stuff. So Big Brain figured that I could be a good man for this job to take it over. And when I joined, like it was fire immediately because it was start of the mating season, and we had like 200 and I don't know 30 fillies or something to mate and to create Gen
Oh
Zeros,
man.
and we just had to we just had to start doing that because the time for mating season was not unlimited. We had to get all the thing done, and we had to get find the best possible pairs, the best possible stats for each one and every one of those fillies. So it was exciting and hectic and crazy immediately, and I we were just you know we went head on into the whole thing, and just started learning in the process and meeting people in the community, and getting valuable like advice and assistance from many people in the community that we worked with and we did trades with, and developed this trust. And you know uh, we really appreciate everything that they did for us and helped us to kind of build this table. So like, yeah, like I said, for me it was a learning curve and learning experience. And then two of my guys that work with me on this project, managers of our two other stables, they joined over time and just took over and took over their stables, and we just started first beta and second beta and everything from there. So just like learning the process, all that thing. But yeah, definitely no crypto background for me. It was just statistics, fantasy sports. I have a lot of betting background, a sports betting background myself. But interesting thing is, I did not really get a chance to do much wagering here in Photo Finish Live because I'm just focused on everything else right now. And wagering is kind of the last thing that I wanna be concerned about. When my stable is developed enough and stable enough and winning enough races, then I might have some time to start analyzing data and start wagering. But until then, it's I'm more focused on racing and breeding and all that stuff.
Yeah, and that's a great topic too. Mainly because I don't know if you catch up on the other shows that we do. Latuda had a good question for you. We'll catch up on that probably in a minute here. But um, MJ Gaming was on with me yesterday. We also had him on the official show. MJ runs the Across the Board show where he did the AMA with Ian and everything. And he's a very, very data driven guy as well. And I love certain people I love talking to in this world. I love talking to statistics people. I love talking to chess players, and I love talking to poker players. Those are some of my three favorite types of people in the world because your brains just normally don't operate the same way as like a normal human being. They just don't. Whether it's trying to find abnormalities and statistics and like what's this weird little crack in the foundation that I can sneak in. I'm sure you know that from like fantasy sports, right? Like finding that little gap in the data where you can sneak in and take a profit, right? Like a lot of people don't approach data that way. They just kind of take what they're given and what they see, and it's just kind of like face value type of deal, right?
Mm.
So I know we have like 3 minutes before this next race. I want to get a try because I do want to try to get a wager in here. So MJ actually been working on his site, mjinformatics.com, and today he actually dropped out a new tool, like a comparison tool. And I've been using this, and I want to kind of take your guys' horses and just kind of run it through here. And because I'm basically just going to throw some bets in and see, how accurate this thing really is. And again, it's not going to be, 100%. No, I don't think any betting tool ever is, right? It's just a matter of finding whatever piece of data you think might be relevant to that bet, that race. You know what I mean? Kind of how I apply fantasy football. I kind of value, maybe you do as well, like injuries are very high to me, next guy up type of mentality. Obviously, they're going to get cheaper prices, in the DFS tournaments, right? So finding any sort of statistical advantage that you can turn into money is always nice to me. So I've been kind of messing around with this. And basically what he did is he gave us the option. You just punch in the horse's name, add it to the list here of comparison. So what I've been kind of doing is just taking the entire field of a race, and just kind of throwing them in here, and then you get to adjust, the distance. So I'll kind of go back in here. I'm running out of time. I got 2 minutes. So we're going 11 furlongs on a yielding track. So I'd be like, all right, cool. Let's just go up here. We'll turn this into an 11 filter. Now, I do know that, we might get some horses that never ran, certain distances, and that's something that we might have to look at here on the tool. But either way, I think if we start, he has like this grade rating difficulty, or grade difficulty rating rather, and basically it's used on like a 1-point metric. I told him he should make a video. We talked about it yesterday a little bit, but again, do you really think you'll be using tools like this, Statboy, or maybe even building your own on your back end, for placing bets down the road?
Definitely, yeah, we will definitely be using those tools. Actually, I remember MJ from the other project that we're working on a couple of months ago. He had a very useful site on VBA. VBA was a basketball game that we were involved with as well. Unfortunately, they got discontinued a few months ago. But MJ had a really good site that was analyzing VBA stats as well. So we were using that one as well. And I'm looking forward to use this one for Photo Finish Live as well. So yeah, but the one that I was actually using the most so far was the gap data, GAP data. I really like what they did. I really like the straightforward, numbers and statistics that you can look at, and just like a place to start when you think about what horse are you going to sign up into which race. That's a good place to start, and then from there I have some of my own data, my spreadsheets and stuff, and then I look here, okay, this one might be good, then I look at my data, okay, this one really might be good, and then I decide if I'm going to assign him to a track to a race or not. So definitely, I mean, we love that the community has all these data-driven sites and data analysis sites and everything, and we hope that we can use them, and we hope that we can also support their work over time. So we really appreciate that, and we're really excited about all that.
Yeah, and like I said, MJ, great dude. I love picking his brain. I think he kind of regrets the DM he sent me where he was like, "Hey, if you ever got anything you want me to, add to the, the thing, let me know." I was like, "Oh man, you just opened Pandora's box, brother." Like now I'm just gonna be like, "Hey, I was thinking." Nah, but he's a good dude, and actually, his turnaround time was like, I complained about something. I was like, "Man, I really wish it had this," and he was like, sent me a screenshot. He was like, "Yep, done." I'm like, "Damn, okay." Those are the types of people we have in this world, and I love it because again, I come from more of like a radio background. I always wanted to be like the next Howard Stern. I wanted to be the sports broadcaster guy growing up. You know what I mean? And I love data, and I like making spreadsheets and stuff like that. But when it comes to scraping or APIs and bringing it into an SQL database, and like I get so freaking lost. And I have like Python classes I've been taking and like whatever, but at the end of the day, I'm like, is it really even worth it for me? Like, I'll let guys, what I'm saying, like MJ and the guys with the Gap tool, like I'll do the content creation, I'll make videos and have conversations with guys like you and host the contests and the daily events. But yeah, man, like again, I'm always blown away at by some of the stuff you guys were able to pull off on like the data stuff. So if you're gonna be doing this, man, using it, he does have a link. Maybe not on this page, but I think it's on the horsepower page. Thought he had something on here. Oh yeah, right here, donations, right here. And again, I told him, and I'll tell everybody the same thing. I don't play favorites. I appreciate everybody in the community, like Statboy just said. I appreciate everybody, man. That is, making content, making websites, helping out the community. So I will always shout out your work, and make sure you guys are donating. If you have the money, soul donations are also open for the Gap School. I think he has an address here. It says by clicking the link on the right hand.
Somewhere at the bottom. Yeah, he used to have it somewhere at the bottom. I don't see it here now, so maybe they just changed how the page looks.
Yeah. But you guys know the drill, man. If you guys are using their stuff on a daily basis, especially if you're really making money off it or finding some good horse buys off it and winning a big race. I mean, if you just won, 60, 80, $100, man, was it toss a coin to your witcher, right? Toss them a few bucks, make it worth their while, right? Listen, because again, this stuff ain't easy and it's also not free. So, I often to take that for granted. This stuff is not free. It does not, you don't just magically have servers and have data and stuff like that. So, maybe for this next race, Statboy, I'll ask you a quick question here. I might not like the answer to this. Thoughts on pricing right now. So you might have heard some of my earlier rants on shows or Twitter or Discord, where we went from the $5 maidens up to a $20 minimum allowance, right? Mm-hmm. So right now we basically go from the B allowances are what is it, $8, something like that?
Yeah, $8, $10.
I love the current floor prices of the races. Again, yes. $6 to $7 for the Bs, and then you get into the A, the A minus to S minus allowances start at 700 Derby. Now, again, I'm not, I don't have a lot of horses. I don't have a lot invested. I don't have money like that. So maybe sometimes cry me a river, Mo, sell horses and have more money. Okay, I get that. But I just want to know from a realistic perspective, was I out of touch? Because I feel like right now we have perfect price points for people to come in and be like, you know what? If I got my ass kicked 3 times in a row for $7, $8, $9, it's okay because I won my next race and I kind of recovered, almost like a slot machine RTP type of deal. You know what I'm saying? You're getting that return to player over time, right? Hopefully it's not like a slot machine. You have to be a little selective in your races and whatever, but you know what I'm saying, right? At least you're not getting beat over for 20, 20, 20, 20, and you're testing distances or trying to find your horse, right? I mean, do you agree with that? Was I out of touch?
Absolutely.
When I said those prices?
I agree. Absolutely. One thing that you mentioned earlier about how crypto collapsed and then those original prices of horses dropped from $1,000 or whatever to, you can now enter a game for $100 or $150 or whatever. I mean, you can get a pretty solid B horse for $150 or maybe $200 on the marketplace. So as much as the entire crypto collapse, not the collapse, but the drops that happened across the last year or so, as much as that hurt the entire community and all of us who are involved in this business. On the other hand, it might have been a blessing in disguise for a game like this, because it's much easier to get people to buy a horse for $100 to get involved in something than get people to buy a horse for $1,000. So I think that the fact that you can basically enter this game with a couple of $100 investment, and then if you want, obviously you can always invest more, but for a regular player, for someone who's just interested, like you said, in wagering or racing or just breeding or whatever, it's not a super big investment. So you can get into that, and then you can develop or grow from there according to your own budget and according to your own needs. And the same thing here with race prices. I mean, you can enter a race for $7, $8, $10, $15 and race every day for a couple of days, see if that works for you. If you lose, you didn't really lose much, and you also gained those great crown stimmies. But you didn't really lose much.
Oh, yeah.
And then when you win, you can recover all of that back or some of that back. So I really like, in order for this game to succeed, it has to be attractive on every level. So you have to have those super, your virtual Kentucky Derby races for big purses. You also have to have middle of the pack races, and you also have to have these low budget races and for a lot of smaller stables to compete in, because it's not going to work without all of those races and all of those tables competing against each other. It's just not going to be as big as it could. So that's one of our own philosophies, was basically we wanted to have a solid presence in every preference and in every grade, like literally from B- to S in every single preference. And that's what we've been working on during the initial mating season. That's how our stables were structured, because we figured, if this game is going to work, it has to work on every level, and we want to be present on every level. So, I mean, personally, one of my most favorite horses are like B pluses and A minuses that are winning my handicap races and whatever. And I don't really, I kind of always like them more when they surprise me with a good showing or a win or whatever, than one of my S horses when she wins something, because she's kind of expected to win that, and these smaller grades are not, they're not expected to carry the load or anything, and they do sometimes. So I really love every level of racing, every level of competition that is right now in this game, and I think that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, 100% agree. Actually, my best horse happened to be the first horse I ever purchased with my uncle and my mother's boyfriend. Again, boy named Sue, has the most wins in my barn. 6 wins out of 26 starts, 4 seconds, a third, and a bunch of fourths. Like, this horse is always there. Honestly, most of these losses are being off the board is probably from my own, inability to just pick the right race. And I was like, I don't want to wait. I'll just throw him in, right? Like, and
I do that all the time. Yeah.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's where the $7, $8, $10 races are fine, because I hear it from people all the time. Like, again, I joke around with Fib on the official show, like, I text them and I complain, or I DM them and I complain. But like, I talk to a lot of regular ass people on a daily basis. And I just want to let people know, like, these people are telling me that now it's $7 to $10. They're running their horses on turf when they like dirt. They're running them right when they like left. You know what I'm saying? Like, now they're just taking shots and be like, hey, you know what? I don't feel like waiting 2 days. I'll go the opposite way. Like, who cares? You know what I'm saying? It's only $7, $8, $10. But if it's 20, you know what I mean? You start becoming very selective. It makes the game look like nobody's playing it. So I think that the price point right now is great. I know Fib did say there's like a range that it schedules between like 700 to 975, I think is the range. So I hope the new guys that are coming in don't just keep pushing that up. I really need them to stay down at that 700. Those 600 handicaps are nice. But again, give people the option where if they feel like their horse is wasting their time at 700 Derby, they got those 1900, the original 2000, because they are there, and there are plenty of horses who don't want to waste their time. And there's plenty of owners. I'm probably sure you have some of the horses too, where you're like, hey, come see me for $25, $50 entry fee. I'll come kick your ass all day. Something tells me you guys have tons of horses like that, and we do have this race coming up, so let's get into it.
Yeah, every price level is important, and every price level should be fun for the people who are competing in that price level. So yeah, I definitely like the way that prices are structured now. I'm sure that over time they might be increased, but I think that this game should always have like the bottom level that's successful and fun and potentially profitable.
Absolutely. And we'll pick up that conversation right here after the race. All right, we now join this race in progress. For those of you watching I Love Lucy, we have horses running here on the track. Tecto Sages now shoots out to the lead. Shania there as well, followed by Admiral and Fun Dip. Granada's in 5th with Aquinonia in 6th. And I actually got those horse names in before they disappeared. That normally doesn't happen sometimes when I start late. But here we go as we head around the clubhouse turn in this 11 furlong left turning affair in the dirt. Opening quarter in 26 and change, and it's all Shania here in the early going. Shani up top now being challenged by Babushka Boy. Babushka Boy goes right on by, wants to have their picture taken as they cross the wire for the first time. Don't forget, you got to run around the track again. It's Babushka Boy up top, followed by Aquilonia. Then comes Ides of March. Shout out to William Shakespeare. Ides of March trots along here in 3rd. Parkway Parade, and now moves up here on the far outside, steals 3rd from Ides of March. Renata's still there in 4th, HHR runner, followed by Arrow Light. Arrow Light in the 10 hole, trying to make some room here on the outside. Half mile and 51 and change, 5 furlongs to go. Come and get some. Out on the track, it's Babushka Boy. Babushka Boy by 2.5. Now it's Ides of March. Found some room there between horses. Slots up in the second. Parkway Parade moves out from third. Hour Light there in fourth. Aquilonia now flies off the board there out of nowhere. Might have taken a bad step. The Aussie guy, though, is okay with that. Goes by and takes fifth, making fourth. Aquilonia, as I don't even know what is going on there in the back of the pack. There is some pushing and some fighting going on there on the track today, ladies and gentlemen. But let's make our way back to the front because that's where it matters. Babushka Boy by 2. Parkway Parade tried to challenge there and now back in the second. The Aussie guy is there. Aquilonia out for fourth, make it third. But they're all chasing Babushka Boy. Into the far turn we go. Everything else doesn't matter. It's all about the money shot. Babushka Boy, Parkway Parade, and Aquilonia. These three side by side, and it's Parkway Parade is going to take it home here on the turn with an aggressive move. Parkway Parade now kicks clear to a quick 4. Babushka Boy is falling apart like an old Buick as the Aussie guy is moving up in the second. But they're all chasing Parkway Parade here past the 8th pole. Parkway Parade over the Aussie guy and Ides of March.
Whew. That was a great race.
All right. That was a great race. Who actually
they won with the Aussie guy was second, I think.
It was the Aussie guy second, yep.
Yep, I think so. I was actually hoping for Aquilonia to win this one. She's like a B+ and strong B+ horse. So she was kind of my favorite to take this. Unfortunately, the Aussie guy kind of jumped in that last stretch and took this one for the stables.
Yeah, I was going to kind of mention that before the race. Actually, I think the next race was coming up relatively quickly, wasn't it? Like right now even? Yeah, so... nope, 5 minutes. Okay. Okay. But yeah, that was another one for D Stables there.
I think it's time for someone from these stables to show up on the stream so they can start losing races.
Yeah, invitations open. If anybody in these stables, hit me up on Discord or Twitter DMs, and I will send you guys the link. Chat, if you guys have any questions here for Stat Boy from Big Brain, any questions for me, want to tell me to just shut the hell up, finally, now's your chance. But yeah, man, like I said, I was honored, actually, you guys reached out to say, hey, you want to do the rivalry match, man, because like I said, I grew up watching, again, WWF. Like, I was like, hell yeah, man, sign me up. Let's take a look at. You know what? I want to touch on something you said before that race. You said something. You said we're gonna have like the bottom of the barrel, low end races, right? Do you watch real horse racing at all?
No, I mean, I started kind of watching now when I started doing this job. I kind of it pops up on my YouTube every once in a while, but I don't have any actual horse racing as viewer sport experience. I was a NBA guy mostly, so mostly basketball and some NFL and tennis actually. But NBA is like my number one game that I usually watch the most.
Nice. Yeah, I was a Jordan fan growing up, obviously, on the Orlando Magic with Penny Hardaway and Shaq. Those were always my guys. But with the horse racing, the reason why I ask is because, when you look at photo finish, right, we got the Churchill Downs track, we got the third time track, and, I know they all pretty much look alike besides the Churchill. But I said it to Ian, I'm like, listen, can you guys, because during the day, a lot of races that you might be, exposed to are these nice tracks, right? These beautiful turf tracks, these beautiful dirt tracks, maybe even some of the overseas tracks and from the States. And it's like, what people often forget about is tracks like Delta Downs, Mountaineer, at Penn National, basically these little shithole rinky-dink tracks, right? Where when the horses go around the dirt track on the final turn, it's like a dust storm's kicking up. You know what I mean? It's like dry, nasty dirt. It's not a well-kept track. And I keep saying that we need that type of atmosphere in photo finish. Like, give us some of these tracks. Like, if you want to give me my 700 Derby allowances and my 600 Derby handicaps, yeah, you're good. Right, Chad? Am I crazy? We want some dust storms going on. They use Unity, and I'm pretty sure Unity is capable of creating a dust storm. But I know I do it in Unreal Engine. RV Hayes said, I'll wait for him to come back. Anytime, no MJ, by the way. Captain Obvious over there in the YouTube chat says you had me at mating season. There's maybe some of the apprehension is the fact that it's a sole blockchain and concerns for stability long term. Full disclosure, you're a bag of souls, so you're not concerned personally. Yep, I got you. No, you're right. And again, we are over on Kick, Twitch, and YouTube. Why, I don't know. I try to funnel everybody to Kick. This is going to be our future platform, but there are some people who just don't come to Kick. So we do appreciate you guys wherever you're watching. So thank you very much. Shout out to T Green, still hanging out. Says it needs to be healthy racing at all levels. Absolutely agree. Stapple, are you good? RVA said you better let him buy some of Nika's foals. He said he wants a Nika foal.
Yeah, I heard from multiple people that they are looking at Nika and they are looking at her foals. She's, for those who do not know, she's an A+, like 26 boost or something like that, right turf soft horse, and she's an amazing freaking horse. I mean, special shout out to VJJ, our friend from RVA stables, back during the initial breeding days, mating days. He was the one who made it possible for us to get Nika. So, I mean, like I said, without some of those people in the community, like VJJ, we would not be able to have the stable that we've developed over time. So we really appreciate that. And
yeah, with all the
he knows that I owe him a favor. So he knows that.
Yeah, and I don't know how it's going to work. I mean, we do have 35 seconds before this race. But like my idea, because we don't have like private transfers, obviously wallet to wallet or anything. But my idea was, why don't they just come up with a system where if like somebody wanted to, compensate somebody or help somebody out, they can transfer them a horse or a foal, but there's a one-time transfer fee of $50 flat, and it all goes the third time. Consider it a transport fee, consider it a registration fee or whatever, but just charge like a one-time $50 flat fee if somebody wanted to help somebody out. Again, like RVA helped, how somebody helped you out, you want to, repay the favor, or you want to repay the favor, right? I'm going to have you answer that, though, right after this race, because we do have it started up. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, degenerates of all ages, another race here coming at you. Shout out to the homie Cyber Official over on Kick Chat, one of the oldest OGs, one of my favorite oldest supporters. Welcome to the races, brother. And they're up and running here, and it's season 3. Breaks out to the lead. D. Cameron there up for second. Jackie Brown third. Silky Johnson in the Black Silks breaks out in fourth, and Fayar is in fifth down the rail with Candy Apple. Got to round out the top leaderboard here as they head around the opening turn. In the 6 furlong, left turning affair in the turn. It's soft track, but it's raining horses here today, and it's D Stables in the early going up top with season 3. Season 3 up top with Cameron now, trying to find some room, passed by Jackie Brown. Jackie Brown up for second, D. Cameron third. Fayar is down with a ground-saving trip in the rail with Silky Johnson, not too far up the hip even. Candy Apple, no change there. Might not be their best day here on the track, but Candy Apple's got about a country mile to make up from season 3. Season 3, half mile and 47 and change with about 2 furlongs left to go as they hit the turn and head for home. Season 3 up top, Jackie Brown's in full pursuit, but it's Fayar now off the rail. Silky Johnson there trying to find some clearance, but as they pass the 8th pole and pass the big old cement balls in the background, it's going to be season 3. Try not to fall off the horse there, little fella. It's going to be season 3 winning this one over Jackie Brown and Fayar. I lost my voice. Oh boy, that was a performance, huh?
Yeah, it looked like season 3 was absolute favorite in this one. Looking at the horses that actually entered, so nice big win for these stables. We are three races down right now, so the only thing I can hope for is that we kind of do the Boston Celtics return and kind of tie this thing at 3 races each, and then have the 7th race decided. So we'll see how it goes.
Yes, sir. You mentioned you were a big NBA fan. Who's your team?
Oh, I don't know. It depends. It really depends from season to season, and it also depends from whoever I have in my fantasy team.
Okay, yeah, so that makes sense.
when we draft our fantasy guys earlier in the year, then I just start rooting for them and rooting for their teams. But obviously this year, I mean, Jokic and the Nuggets winning it. I think it was great for the league, and I think it was great for people who love kind of different brand of basketball with more passing and more cutting and more other players getting involved. So I really like how the Nuggets were playing, and I really enjoyed their championship run.
Yeah. So again, as I said you earlier, like I was a Jordan guy. I was an Orlando Magic guy with Penny and Shaq, and I don't really follow modern basketball ever since say the Euro step and the weird traveling and stuff, and then the flopping. It was a big turn off to me. But I will say this, and I saw the picture of Jokic before the finals, where it looked like he
Mhm.
just got out of McDonald's eating like 10 Big Mac, meals or whatever. And I'm like, holy crap. I'm like, this is their star. So I watched like the first game or whatever, whatever that game, well, maybe actually, you know what? Maybe it was the Western Finals. I think it might have been the game against Golden State where he was just raining those threes and stuff like over his head, like from beyond the arc. Dude, I was like blown away. I was like making fun of this guy an hour before that, and this guy was just doing some crazy shit. So you know what? Yeah, shout out to him. Shout out to the Nugget. Like that. That was something, man. Wow. But again, I don't know. Basketball's not really my thing. I'm an NFL guy. I'm a Jets fan. So normally I'm like really in a bad mood once football season starts. But now we got Aaron Rodgers.
Oh yeah, that's
You know,
what I just wanted to say. I was a big NFL fan kind of like 10 years ago, and Peyton Manning was my guy. I
that's my
followed
guy.
his entire career every year when he was losing to Tom Brady, and I was like, God damn it, we're going to beat him next year. So in the end, I was really happy that he was able to win those two. I think it was two Super Bowls that he had in the end. Uh, but
Oh
kind of
yeah.
when he retired, I kind of just fizzled out of NFL. I didn't really watch almost none of it for last 5 or 6, 7 years. But I heard that Aaron Rodgers left the Packers and went to Jets. So I'm sure you guys have something to be excited about this year.
Yeah, no, we're definitely pumped. Again, as a Jets fan, normally we're like optimistic, but then we play the first game of the season and it's like, just wrap it up. Jets actually stands for just end the season, JETS. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they say the most suicidal people on the planet are dentists and Jet fans. So take that for what you will. But now we got Aaron Rodgers, and yeah, man, like there's a new sense of hope. We actually had a really good team last year. We were 6-2 when we scored more than one freaking touchdown. And last time I checked, Aaron Rodgers is going to give us more than one touchdown a game, even on his worst
Sure.
day. So, we got a lot to look forward to. I'm definitely excited, but I am big on fantasy football as well, and I never draft Jet players. Like I'm very, very adamant that I will, even if the best player in the NFL is a Jets player. I will never ever draft them, even if I had the first pick overall. It's just I won't jinx my team. I'm very superstitious in that field here. But I
Yeah.
do want to kind of get your thought on something here because this is a big race coming up.
Mhm.
And I see some horses in this race that I know it doesn't really affect the head-to-head matchup, but that Tombstone Stable runner up there is something special. So they got D Biscuit and the Goddess, and you guys are rolling out with Notorious Nomad and Swift Diamond. Now you
Right.
said this is your mill, right? This is the
Yeah,
RDF.
actually, this was these two horses are from my stable, and we also have Doc Holliday in here, who is the horse who beat me probably most times out of any other opponent this season. Actually, in here in live games. So Doc Holliday is the only S right third soft horse in the game, and he's been kicking our ass and taking my name, throughout the live game. But we were able. I actually have two very strong S minus horses here in right third soft, and Notorious Nomad is one of those. And we did. We were able to beat Doc Holiday more than once throughout this live game. So I'm hoping for a nice
Ooh.
little upset here from Notorious Nomad. And regarding their stables horses, they're both very good and very strong. So it will be really tough. And of course, Big Nose Kate is in here, and she's also one of the strongest right third horses out there. So this should really be fun.
Yeah, so I mean, you did kind of mention that you beat up on Doc Holliday a little bit. Can we consider that an open challenge to Tombstone Stables with Mike Sowers to potentially continue up another rivalry Sunday, man? Like that could be something. I love Mikey,
Yeah, I'm
man.
sure.
He's such a good dude.
Yeah, yeah. We talked so many times. We're kind of both opponents and allies here in Right Dirt Soft, because for both of us, it's we want to see this preference grow. We want to see more horses in the game, especially in Right Dirt Soft. So we want to have other people get a chance to join and to race against us. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this race, and I'm looking forward to breeding season. Whenever Doc Holiday becomes available, he will be a very, very interesting colt for breeding in here.
Absolutely. MJ Gaming says he's heading out. I know he said he could only catch part of the show today. MJ, appreciate you hanging out. BD says, since you're the RDS leader, how many? I'm assuming he says, how many cola and fillies do you have? And I'm assuming that's colts and fillies. And
RDS?
do you plan to race or retire? Actually, we have 20 seconds. I don't know if you want to go into this answer yet.
Yeah. Let's talk about that after the race, if the race is about to start now.
And by the way, guys, make sure you guys give MJ a follow over there on Twitter. Check out his website. Statboy, what's the best place to keep up to date with you on Twitter? You have is that you on the Big Brain Stables Twitter handle?
Yeah, usually it's mostly me. So yeah. But the easiest way to reach me whenever is just through Discord. Just contact me there, and I tend to keep the thing open all day, whether on my computer or on my mobile. And if you want to reach me, just hit me up on Discord. That's the easiest way to get in touch.
All right, awesome. All right, they're in the gate. Horses are online, and they're up and running here in the Monterey Bay Club Stakes. The Biscuit breaks best of all from the outside. In comes Swift Diamond. Big Nose Kate down at the rail along with Doc Holiday. Those stablemates going to run neck and neck 3-4. The Goddess out for 5th, and Notorious Nomad going to round out the top leaderboard here as they pass the wire here and head to the clubhouse turn in this 9-furlong right turning affair on the dirt. Track is sloppy and smoke is good for Swift Diamond. Swift Diamond now takes the lead here, pokes the nose in front by half a length. On the outside, here comes the Goddess trying to giddy up along with D Biscuit. And now Swift Diamond instantly challenged. D Goddess goes right on by and takes the lead. Swift Diamond back on the rail, relegated back to 2nd. D Biscuit for 3rd. Big Nose Kate moves up. Notorious Nomad there, 4th place with Doc Holiday going to round out the leaderboard. Half mile and 50 and change. Down the backstretch they go, slopping along. D Goddess and D Biscuit gonna run along here. Tag team side by side, but D Biscuit says, you know what? Yoink that one and takes it over. Now is D Biscuit up top. D Goddess there for 2nd. Big Nose Kate's down at the rail, still with a ground saving trip, along with Doc Holiday. Notorious Nomad slides back to 5th. Swift Diamond there in 6th. Somebody better tell them they're racing back there because they're running out of real estate. 3/4 in 1:15. D Goddess, D Biscuit. D race order has not changed. Sorry, I was trying to come up with a good pun for that one. But it's D Goddess by 2. Doc Holiday's trying to challenge here and goes right on by as he hits the turn with passion. Doc Holiday up top now. D Goddess in full chase. D Biscuit and Big Nose Kate. But it's Doc Holiday up top and the one to catch. Doc Holiday by 2 is D Goddess is trying to get one more rally down at the rail. But it's going to be all a long road here for Doc Holiday. Going to be Doc Holiday over D Goddess and Big Nose Kate. Doc Holiday did not like us talking about him before the race. He was not happy about that. All right, well, that was man. Let me get some insight from you here. I mean, what do you think's happening here? We just catching bad variants from your horses today, or what?
This is such a streaky game. You sometimes have streaks of good results and sometimes have streaks of bad results, and it's just it turns around every once in a while. So we're obviously disappointed by how this thing has turned out so far. But like I said, it's all about the game, and it's all about excitement, and it's all about having fun. So while I would love that the score is different, it's fine.
Fair enough. I was just kind of, because I think I had this conversation with MJ actually, and maybe you can kind of relate to this if you're into sports, right? Like, I feel like, especially maybe people, because I'm 41, I'm old as hell, right? Old as dirt, bird lava, right? So when I look at like a lot of the younger generation, they're just like, one defeat. It's like they're just so beat down. They find like this little echo chamber on the internet where they just kind of like they have like pity parties, right? But I feel like people of like my age, my generation, especially in like a sports background, it's motivation, man. It lights the fire to come back, right? So like, let me ask. I guess the question for you would be something like, when you look at a loss, are you looking at it like, hey, I can do better? Or are you looking at it where you're like, oh, I've had enough of this shit? Because you don't really seem to me like a guy who's like, because you just kind of said, right, the variance, you're not always going to have your best race, right? So that's a good lesson, I would think, for some people that are into this game. Like, like what's your approach to that?
The good thing about this whole thing is when you lose a race, you have another chance like 24 hours later or 20 hours later, or however they changed it now. So whenever you're down, it's just like a motivation to get back up and to try to beat them up next time. And I think that's just the only way
Yep.
you can do it. Based on my like sports betting background and everything, I kind of know that sometimes you just have to ride out those bad streaks. And
Yep.
the most important thing for me back in the day was not to give up on my strategy, not to give up on the system that I was playing. So defeats can kind of mess up with your budget, definitely, and they can mess up with your energy level and with your optimism and everything. But like I said, this is super long run thing, and just wipe the dirt off and move back up. So that's what we will try to do here. And we have this B level allowance race here to look forward to. Actually, Prospero is one of my favorite horses in our left stable. I was just talking about him with my colleague the other day, and I kind of hope that he can score the first win for us here.
Holy crap, I just saw the freaking stats on this horse. 15 races with 8 wins, a second and 2/3. My lord, that is nice. I thought I had a
Yeah,
horse running in one of these races today with you guys, but hopefully I don't. But yeah, I thought I might have had one in there. Yeah, it's I wanted to ask the question that Latuda asked earlier. Is this what you do for a job? Like, are you doing the photo finish, or do you have like a normal? I'm obviously you don't have to tell us your day to day or dox yourself, but like,
it's
is this
it's
what you
it's
do like for a living?
managing this project is one of my responsibilities here in Solvay Grains company. So that's definitely part of my regular job and part of my work work duties that I have. Yeah,
That is both
and
awesome,
yeah,
but
it's a
that
great thing.
is
I mean, you
that
can
is
you can hardly ask for a much better job or much more exciting job or whatever. I'm really loving it.
yeah. But now you just put me in an awkward position, because now my girlfriend's gonna be hitting me up after the show, being like, "Hey, wait a second. How come Stat Boys, he's working with companies that manage barns, and you're sitting here busting your ass?" She's like, "No, I'm okay. No, that's awesome though, man. Like I said, it's this will for a lot of people, man. Like, this will become a full-time job. I mean, in certain aspects of my life, it is. You know, my girl probably say it. If she's in chat, but my sleep schedule has been trashed. I mean, I've been dating her we've been going for 11 years. I mean, shit, she'd have a ring on her finger. But, like, for the 11 years, my sleep schedule will go all over the place based on my lifestyle at the moment. Am I being responsible at this point in my life? Like, with photo finish, dude, I am up every morning, anywhere between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. I'm up. I'm trying to get the races planned out for the day, looking at, what races filled. Do I have horses that I got to get back in last minute? Because again, I have 4 syndicates that I, run horses for. I don't get paid from my syndicates. It's not, something that's like profitable for me. But, you know, when I get the crown kickback and all that kickback, I mean, that goes to me. That's like my payment, for managing the syndicates. And then if we ever win money with the horses, we talk about, whatever down the road. But most of my syndicates, they're all on the same page. They're like, hey, listen, we all gave you $50 or $100, some of them. And it's like, listen, man, if we get our own foal 6 months down the road out of one of the crazy amounts of horses that come out, great. If we win some money with a stakes winner, great. You know what I'm saying? They all kind of understand that for the low risk, you know,
Mhm.
they could potentially be in something, especially the way I sell it. You know what I mean? Like, hey, own a horse. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can breed it. We're early. You know the whole sales pitch. Um,
Absolutely.
but it's just funny to me because it's not. I mean, again, $50 with like 5 people going in or 6 people to get like a decent horse, something that's going to run some claimers, have some fun. I mean, it's worth it, man. I've seen so much excitement from my group chats and different messaging where it's like the horse wins its first race and they're going crazy. You know what I mean? Like
I love those
that's
tweets.
cool to
I
me,
love
man.
those tweets. When I'm looking at my Twitter feed and whatever, and those are always like the ones that I tend to like the most. Click the like button and whatever. I just love to see those smaller stables just getting like their first win or first podium or whatever, and just being super excited about that. And I think I would have probably been the same if I was in this with my own stable rather than running the company stable. So it's really great to see that level of enthusiasm and that level of love for the game. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Did you see Degen Brody? He was somewhat of a newcomer. Did you see his tweet when he won his first race where he dove over the recliner?
I probably did. I don't remember exactly, but it's great.
Because he
Whatever,
was a new guy.
whatever. Uh-huh.
Yeah, he was a newer guy that came in, just happened to stumble across the project, and David had reached out to him, and I had reached out to him, and again, like kind of like other people, like a lot of other people that discover these projects. Sometimes you just kind of FOMO in, you dive in, you're like, oh my god, the floor is this price. Let me snag them up because some people might come into a game like Photo Finish and be like, oh, any horse is a good horse. I just need something to race, right? And it's like, well, hold your horses. You know what I'm saying? Not to use that term, but like, hold up,
Yep.
because every horse might have its place eventually. Even these half
Mhm.
star Charlies that are going to be running maybe claimers during the dark days coming up. But man, like he came in, he bought a bunch of horses that most people would have been like, yeah, don't buy that. And then he was racing on stream. He was kind of getting a little discouraged. So I hit him up. I had like an hour and a half conversation with him and his couple buddies. And then, he went, he did his own research, started looking around, this and that. Then that next horse that he bought wound up, was the horse he won the first race with. And again, he's all excited, man, diving over the recliner. Like, man, seeing that, like, again, the way he was, a couple days prior, not that he was going to walk away. Like, he understood too that there's variance or whatever, but,
Mhm.
just seeing somebody like they want to be excited, but they're like, man, like, I keep getting my ass kicked. Like, and then they get that win, man. It was so cool, and this is like
Yeah.
the early success stories that we're going to see. Like, I'm
Mhm.
talking like 10 years down the road. Think about the amount of generations of horses. And for people that have children, where maybe they name the horse after something their kid really likes, and then their kid takes
Yeah.
ownership of this horse if we get some sort of transfer, and then, whatever, like, maybe the 25 years down the road, these parents, might not even be around anymore. These kids still have the generational horses, and it's something that their parents like left to them. Dude, like the amount of like sentimental value that these digital assets could even hold is crazy to me because I look at every NFT out there and none of them will ever hold a candle to what a horse on on Photo Finish it can actually like give somebody. That's some people are
David
like, yo,
had
you're overthinking it, Mo, but
David had a great tweet the other day. I'm not sure if you saw it. He said something like, "Photo Finish Live, we are running virtual Kentucky Derby with Churchill Downs, the official and everything, and all other NFT projects out there. Oh, look, we have a unicorn with red eyes. That's so funny."
yep.
So the
And they have a
advantage
game
of
coming soon.
yeah, the
They have a
advantage of this
game and a
game.
metaverse, and they're gonna come clean your house next week. Like it's all coming soon. Everything that you want and you need in your life is going to come soon from those NFT projects.
Right,
And
right.
I'm sorry for the people in chat, because they're probably gonna be like, dude, they feel like I have some of my stuff on like a button, a little macro. But like I said it to Ian when we first started getting to know each other on stream. I'm like, dude, you guys did it completely backwards. Like you guys went out, built the game, built the platform, and then started trying to recruit the more crypto bros and the money. Like, you know what I mean? Like, whereas other people, other platforms are like, hey, this is what we're thinking about doing. But you know what? Give us the money now. Like, come do everything now. Everything's got to be now, and we're just gonna sell you a pipe dream. And it always blows me away, man. When I look at photo finish, every single day I wake up and I open up the game or the platform and I look at it because I don't like calling it a game. Like to me, it's not a game. What do you think about that? I always call it a platform because I feel like a game is like something you can
Yeah,
like manipulate or like learn.
mhm.
You know what I mean? Or like I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question. We were actually kind of my partner and I we were explaining it to some of her relatives the other day. And when people hear that it's a game, they kind of feel like it's not really that serious. But yeah, like you said, platform might be a better term because it's so much more than a game. And what I really like it that it's not. Uh, you cannot just sit all day and click train or whatever to improve. And it's more about long-term learning and long-term understanding of the game rather than just spending more time spamming one one same action all the time. So I really think
Right.
it's definitely a lot more than the game. One thing you mentioned earlier though about claimer races, I was kind of ignoring them mostly earlier because I kind of had my hands full with the all regular races that my stable is running. But lately, in the last couple of weeks, I'm really starting to get a lot more interested in claiming races. I really think they're a lot of fun, and you can really have horses that are strong in claiming, who really found their niche in there. For example, I was talking to a Smop legend. He has S minus called the Show, and the Show has been killing people in right dirt claimers lately. And it's such a great experience to have a horse that found his niche there. The Show is like S minus 10
Hmm.
boosts or 12 boosts or something, so he's not strong enough to compete in those big time races, but he's perfect for claiming races. And I'm
Yeah.
really starting to go through my stable trying to find similar horses like that who are not good enough for take the next step, but they might be just perfect for like 30,000 Derby claimer or maybe even 60,000 Derby claimer and just find success there. So I really love the concept, and I really love how you can manipulate the quality of horses that you put in there. Always make sure
Hmm.
that you use horses that are not more valuable than the claiming price for the race itself, and then just try to find the niche below that price. Try to find a horse that can win there or that can compete there. So I think they're really interesting, and I'm really hoping to spend more time racing claimers later and just learn more about them and get more success in claimers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, well, at least in America, horse racing, the horse claiming races in horse racing are 70% of the races here in the United States.
Mhm.
So when you open up a book, past performance, racing form, again, 70% of these races are claiming races, right? Now, a lot of things that I talk about when it comes to like racing funnels, and maybe we can talk about that in between these races because I always like to get people's thought on this. But when it comes to claiming races, right, I think a lot of people were in the same boat where I was putting together a stable to go long term because you talk about the long term vision too, right? I didn't buy horses to put in claiming races. So you can understand why right now the claimers, while they sound interesting and they look interesting, right? We just don't have the horses that people are willing to part with because we didn't buy
Mhm.
these horses and get these horses to put pieces together just to
Right.
risk it, right? Now, again, 6 months down the road, this is going to be a completely different discussion when you're talking about Gen 1, 2, 3 horses. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But I just feel like again, with conversations like you, I feel like a lot of people are in the same position. Now, that being said, we do have 20 seconds, but you know, would you find yourself buying horses once retirement opens or taking your own horses and, like you said, now putting them into claimers? Maybe if you can wrap that up in 10 seconds.
Yeah, I definitely have some horses that I'm racing in claimers right now, and I also bought some cheap horses, especially for claimers, to run them in claimers. So that's
There you go.
kind of a start of my claimers project, and I hope to develop from there. Yeah.
Yep. And that is exactly what I think this whole ecosystem is going to turn into during the dark days of racing here coming up for the next 60 days. Horses are in the gate here. Another race on. Photo finish live. Sunday Showdown. Leavenworth Field online. And they're racing here in the Enchanted Forest Allowance. Dust Disciple breaks well from between horses along with Iceland, then comes Roses running. Dito down at the rail, runs alongside Rock Bar and Oversized Merch. Going to round out the top leaderboard here as this field heads out to shoot and onto the main track in this 7-furlong left-turning affair in the dirt. Track is yielding, but Hog Heaven is chopping it up here in the early going. Opening quarter in 24 and change, modest pace. Rose is running though, however, as I just got off cue there. It was Rose is running on the outside who takes the lead now, along from Iceland, Dido, and then Graveyard Favorite. This is why I got to turn off my text messaging during the streams, but it's Roses running away with it here in the early going. Around the turn they go. Rose is running up top. Dido trying to catch him from the inside. Iceland there on third. Now moves up into second. Graveyard Favorite there for fourth, trying to find some racing room. Marguerite up for fifth, carrying those 5 pounds. 5 pounds, but you still look good in those jeans, sweetheart. At least that's what I tell. Well, actually, I don't want to finish that one because I might be sleeping on the couch. But it's Roses running across the turn, being overtaken here just like that from Iceland. Iceland up top now with Graveyard Favorite in full bore, trying to track him down. But it's Iceland on the inside with Graveyard Favorite. Dito down at the rail with 3 across the track here. As we hit the wire, it's going to be Iceland, Graveyard Favorite, and Dito. Anybody's race here on the bob, it's going to be Iceland holding it off over Dito and Graveyard Favorite. Chalk one up for Big Brain Stables on that one, ladies and gentlemen. Although David's sitting back somewhere right now going, yep, but I got you all.
I'm sure he does. By the way, I have to mention, I absolutely love his stable. I mean, the AJR Genetics stable. I mean, so many great like B+, A-, A horses. They're just best in their niche, and they're just, you know, they're kicking everyone's ass for 2 months already, and without any high grade horses. I mean, I think he's done a remarkable job with those A's and B's that he has. And whenever I see, a good thing is that he actually gave them all names by countries. So whenever I see a horse with a country name, I'm like, oh shit. Like David is here, he's gonna beat me up. So shout out to him.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I wonder what they're gonna do going forward, though. When they start breeding these horses, are they gonna start using the horse names and then maybe do like cities inside of that country for the babies?
That's a good suggestion. I'm sure that I'm sure that he will have to come up with many creative solutions. By the way, I was talking to OEB stable today. And he mentioned that he will have a lot of beautiful fillies on his hands when after the breeding season and whatever. And I'm like, you're going to have a tough time making up names that make any sense for all those horses, because, you know, at least for myself, I spent a really disproportional amount of time just thinking about how should I name these horses so that I can actually remember who is who and who is, you know, coming from which parents and whatever. So I don't know how you do it,
too,
but for me, sorry.
So I just want to make sure we didn't miss anything. Oh, this is actually us. Hold on a second. Sorry, hold that thought. This is the Mojave. Yeah, this is you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, yep. Sorry. All right, as we head back down to the track, double feature for you today, chat. And they're off here in the Mojave Maiden. I don't know why they just don't call it the Monos Maiden, but hey, I'm not going to judge. But it's Tube Tester breaks well. Then comes Mickey's Mount on the extreme outside. Ringo there as well, topping out the 3 with Arctic down at the rail. Cross Swords got out for 5th, and Vera Wang going to round out the top leaderboard here as they head to the clubhouse turn. First and only turn in this 4-furlong affair, heading left on the dirt. Opening quarter in 23 change. They are flying in this Tube Tester. He works with his day job testing tubes, but night working on the track. But it's Tube Tester trying to hold on, and it's Untethered Heather just goes right on by with ease as Tube Tester calls it a day. It's Untethered Heather. One more challenge from Ringo. It's going to be Untethered Heather on the inside with Ringo on the outside to the wire. It's going to be all Untethered Heather over Ringo and Discreet Lover. Well, hey, you know what? You're making this respectable now. Even though technically I guess you can't win mathematically, but you know, hey, we are closing the gap. That was a hell of a race from Ringo, man.
Yeah.
Wow, what a horse.
Yeah, that feels a little bit better than it felt 10 minutes ago. But like I said, with racing and with everything, you just have to stick it out. You just have to stay positive and then hope that better results will come on over. So yeah, this was really a really nice race, and congratulations to the Rinstout stable for this win. Rinstout Racing stable for this win.
Oh, that was rinsed out. That got up top. Yep, that was good.
Yep, yeah.
All right, and then we got looks like the last one here tonight, right? Death Valley Allowance.
Yeah, it should be. Last three races are really close to each other in schedule, so the last one will start probably. It starts in a couple of minutes. Yeah.
All right, well, here we go, chat. T Green said nice, good race before. Latuda said strong move from Dido. People always say I say everything weird, so. All right, send it down to the track. Horses are at the gate here for the nightcap. Again, this has been the Sunday Showdown between D Stables and Big Brain Stables. Huge shout out, Stat Boy, for joining me for today's show. If there's anybody from Big Brain or D Stables rather that wants to come on after this race and have a little chat, let me know. But they're up here in the final race. What's up, Brody in chat? Arpero shoots out to the lead. Then comes Ridge and Leaf. And Crown Criminals, these three head out. Then comes Bahrain down the rail, followed by Ophelia. And White Knight going to round out leaderboard here as this field's going to pass the wire for the first time. OEB runner here, Arpero, wants their picture taken here as he crossed the wire for the first time. Everybody wave to your current leader, Arpero. Opening quarter and 26 and change, no rush there up top. Break of 4.5 now comes Bahrain, then comes Crown Criminal. Ophelia drops out there in fourth with Ridge Leaf, and White Knight, no change there at the back of the pack, as this field's going to head around the turn with Arpero showing the way. But Bahrain's had enough. Shoots up off the rail now, takes the lead. Bolt carrying 6 pounds, run in front of Crown Criminal. Ophelia there for fourth. White Knight moves up finally in the fifth with Ridge Leaf dropping back in the sixth. About 7 lengths from back to front, half mile and 52 and change, and 5 furlongs to go. Bahrain back up top. Arpero now drops down off the rail. Might have clipped heels there. Might have actually hit the wall. Don't know what happened there to Arpero, but they are quickly off the board, ladies and gentlemen. And it's Bahrain's race to lose. Bahrain up top by 2.5. There comes Yamanaya. Ophelia there for third. White Knight tries to get in between horses there for fourth. Arpero in fifth, trying to battle back. Ridge Leaf in sixth. They're all chasing Bahrain into the far turn. And I'm pretty sure I'm losing my voice, chat. I don't know why I started talking like this, but I'm kind of digging it. Bahrain around the turn. Yamana there now. Challenges on the outside and goes right on by. Yamana says thank you for the lead. It's Yamana up top. Bahrain on the inside. Ophelia there in the middle of the track. And it's Yamana up top now trying to pull some room off as Bah runs out at the rail. Ophelia looks like he's out of it here. It's going to be a 2-horse race past the 8th pole between Yamana and Bahrain. Yamana who? Yamana dee. It's going to be Yamana to the wire over Bahrain and Ophelia here in the nightcap. 1, 2, 5. Racking up another one here for Big Brain Stables. Yeesh.
I knew that we should have made it best of 9. I mean, best of 7 was not enough for us.
You guys want to throw some in? I'll stick around. Wow, yeah, but you guys are putting together a hell of a little comeback there, man. Wow.
Yeah, we were kind of late. We were kind of late to start the comeback, but I'm happy with the final result. I'm not happy that we lost, obviously, but we kind of picked up the pace in those last few races and made this a more respectable outcome. So really good stuff. Plus, we also got a chance to defeat Bahrain, which is David's horse. So that's another a little satisfactory moment for us.
Yeah, that was one hell of a race there by Yamana. That was wow. And I know it's a filly, and I'll just I'll throw it out there to you. I've thrown it out there to all the big barns. If you guys are doing like a foal delivery at the barn, and one of those foals happen to fall off the truck and find their way over to Bigfoot Stables, I mean they will find a good home. I'm just again, that's a public message to anybody out there listening. No, I'm kidding. But seriously, that for a B minus, it's such a good horse. So maybe I don't know how much time you got, and I probably want to wrap this up. But when you have a horse like that in the B minus, and we know that the B level is so, there's such a small population. Like,
Mhm.
are you going to try to breed this up and try to get better blood in the A's from this Yamana horse, or are you going to try to go parallel? You know what I'm saying, and try to actually flush out the B category, basically, maybe even
Personally,
dominate that division.
yeah,
If you want
personally,
to
I
give away
hope that.
information, obviously.
No, I don't think that this is. I actually think this is something that I wanted to talk about. Actually, personally, I think that we will try to go parallel and then a little bit up, basically. So maybe go from B minus to strong B, or from strong B to strong B plus, or whatever. I don't think that B horse grades should ever be eliminated from the game. I think they're a great entry point for new players, and I
Mhm.
think they should always be here. And I think, like you mentioned, if a new guy comes on over and buys like a strong B horse, B minus or B plus or whatever, and has a chance to compete at his level, at his or her level, and at his or her price point, I think that's a great thing for the game. So, like I mentioned the other day in chat, I would rather have a very strong B horse than average or below average A horse, because with very strong B, I can beat up other Bs. And with average A, I'm not
Right.
sure if I can be that successful. So, in my personal opinion, not just because I really love those B plus horses, and not just because we have some really super strong B horses, uh, I really think that they're important for the whole ecosystem and for the success of the game. And we are not planning to breed above from there. As long as there are allowance races for bees, as long as there are races where they can compete at fair level against others, I want to have
Mhm.
them, and I want to have as strong bees as possible. So we will see how it goes over time, obviously, and we will see how grades are important as we move forward through Gen 1, Gen 2, and whatever. But right now, as long as, like I said, as long as they have races to compete in, I want to be there, and I want to have as strong bees as possible. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of said it. I think I don't know if you were intentionally making that pun, but I love it. Where it's like they have to be there. The races have to be there for us to breed out the bee population, right? Like, and that's what it's all about. Because I think some people, again, they might have illusions of grandeur, where essentially they just think, I have to breed. Like, if I have a good B minus, I have to start breeding with the best S horse, no matter what it costs me. Like, I have to shoot this thing up from a B minus to an A, and then I have to go from an A to an S. Like, they think this is going to happen in like two cycles. But I think what a lot of people are kind of on agreement with, what it seems like anyway, is that if we jump the gap too quickly, you might be
Mhm.
leaving the potential to build up at a slower, more consistent level. I think Stens really kind of explained it well the other night with Doughboy and them. Um, but yeah, man, like it's just I'm really, really curious to see again because I don't have any B level fillies, but I have two really strong B level males, like colts. Now, how good is that going to be for me financially? Probably not that great. But again, unless maybe guys like you who have a matching filly want to look at that horse and go, yo, wait a second. Like my boy named Sue Horse, man, like I look at this horse sometimes and it blows my mind because, you know, I look at like the average or whatever of the FFs. Because this was like the one stat that I think I use more than anybody, or maybe that I use more than anything else, rather, is a better way to say it. Just seeing what they're like compared to the average. And when I look at Boy Named Sue, and I look at the average of 12 furlongs, like, look at this dot. This dot
That's
is
a great 12 furlong horse, especially. I was looking at, I was talking to, I think, Smop Legend the other day about some B plus horses that are good in long races, and there are not many
yep.
of them. So
This is
if
a
you
B
have
too.
like
Yeah.
if you have like a B horse that's great at 12 furlongs, that's a great horse, and that seems to be a really rare trait to have a strong B there. So that definitely looks like a really good horse. What you mentioned about breeding up different levels and all that, different strategies, that's also a great thing about this game. You can have different strategies. I have no idea if my strategy of breeding, staying within the B levels, it's going to be good, or if it's going to be successful or profitable or whatever. But that's what I'm going to try,
Yep.
and I'm sure that other people will try other stuff. And that's great thing about this game. You can really try all sorts of different things and see how it works for you. I mean, who knows? Maybe if you breed like a B- with whatever, A+ or whatever, and you get an A, maybe that A will also have their niche in some claimers or in some, I don't know, handicap rates or whatever. We don't know how it's going to work in advance. So everyone should, do their own research and make their own strategy and hope that it really works good for them.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, because I'm never gonna sit here on stream with you, with MJ, with Mike's. Nobody. I'm never gonna sit here and tell you that my way is correct. But I love a
Absolutely.
good conversation about it. MJ throws this word around all the time, and I love it because it's like one of my happy trigger words these days is theory crafting. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, I love the idea of sitting down with some raw data, trying to look at it again, find the abnormalities, find the point of attack. You know what I mean? Like, find ways that I can profit, or maybe not even profit, but just have some freaking fun. Because it's not always about the money. If I can get some horses that are like a little profitable, but again, I could just have some fun, throw them in claimers, dick around, run the opposite way. Like, sometimes that little bit of fun and keeping me around average, at least break even, it's just as
Yep,
enjoyable. You know what I'm saying? It's making that money sometimes, right? I mean, the money's nice,
it is.
but
It is.
but that's why I say like it's nice when I talk to again like people like you and MJ and Mike Sowers, David, the guys who are really data driven, and I'm sure there's plenty of other guys out there. I'm not trying to leave anybody out there, but it's just I feel like we're at a really cool situation here where there's so many different beautiful minds that are looking at this data, working on this data, taking a different approach to the data. Like I think Mike Sowers has told me things, and and I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I agree with that, Mike, but you know what? That's actually some really good things to point out. Now I'm going to kind of
Mhm.
deep dive into it on my own, where I kind of I full circle back to it a couple days later with them, and I'm like, hey, you know what, man? Like I still don't agree with you, but you kind of led me down another rabbit hole, and now I'm kind of like isolating different types of data that I wasn't looking at before. And for instance, what it led me to was one of my horses, Sweet Feet. Oh no, Odds on Lightning, where this
Mhm.
horse I bought for like I don't know 180 bucks like 2 weeks ago, relatively recently. And not the greatest horse in the world, but I noticed he had some matching blood to one of Sour's horses in Tombstone. And I was like, I wonder if there's any relation with the PFPs. Let me just try it, right? And I did because he had the speed stats that I was kind of isolating at the time. I like the 330 tickets. You know what I mean? Give me that
Mhm.
speed, give me that start, sprint them out. If he's got a zero temper, maybe he runs really great or just really shitty. Kind of like in Zed Run, they had like the U-shaped horses, right? For me, I'm kind of looking at temper, like maybe that's where that comes into play. Maybe it's heart though. I know that the stats on the site will tell you they mean something a little bit differently, but again, I'm kind of looking at data, interpreting things a little bit differently, and I'm applying it in a little bit different of a fashion. Now, I'm never going to tell you that I'm 100% correct, but I always love the
Absolutely.
conversation of like, what I'm saying? It's just theory crafting, man. Like
Yep.
there's so many things we can look at where maybe I'm profitable, maybe you're profitable your way, maybe, Mike is profitable with his and Dave is doing his thing, but like, and maybe some people will just get freaking flat out lucky. You know what I mean? But it's like, I don't know, man. But
Yeah.
I just feel like we're in such a great space where like it's awesome. Again, to have conversations with guys like you, and again, man, thank you so much for coming on. And I was hoping again to see if anybody else was gonna maybe shoot me a message to come on and have a little WWF back and forth. But
Yeah. Actually,
maybe not
actually,
this week.
Aaron from this tables messaged me during the stream. He said he had some technical difficulties and was not able to actually join the stream. So it's a shame that he couldn't
Oh,
make it.
okay.
But on the other hand, I love that he wasn't here, so he did not rub the salt into our wounds or anything like that. But in any case,
Oh, hey, man. Like,
yeah, let me just say that I really appreciate what you did here tonight and how you jumped in to have this stream. I really enjoyed the
of course, man.
conversation and all that. And for my first stream, it was a lot of fun. I hope we can do some others again in the future. And I would like to congratulate the Stables guys for their first win here. And I would like to just say a little bit of something, kind of a teaser for the future. We are definitely
Sure.
looking forward to making this a regular thing. So, our stable against other stables, let's say once a week, that's something that we will be working on, and that's something that we hope to have. as a regular thing in this game in the future. And we also kind of already agreed on having a rematch against Death Tables. So when that happens, there should be some higher stakes and some rewards for the winner. And like I said earlier, we
Ooh.
want to have more suitable races scheduled for that. So let's just leave it all at that. When we have more details, we will make it public. And I don't want to give too much away when these tables guys are not here to kind of confirm that and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as we're concerned, we definitely enjoy this. We love this, and we hope to make this a regular thing with even higher stakes. So bring it on, guys.
When you and I will be clipping that smack talk a little bit to Mike Sowers with Tombstone about his horses earlier. So hopefully we can get that challenge match set up, because I would definitely love to see that. I actually own one of his horses, or his ex horses, I guess, in Steps Kiss. I'm pretty sure he got rid of it because he didn't like the 0 temper. But again, we all isolate different things in horses, and you know what? 29 races, she got 4 wins, 7 seconds, 7 thirds, and a bunch of fourths. So you know what?
Yeah, that's a very good
that
score. Yeah.
And same thing like I look at on my other horses. When I look at her at certain ranges, look at her at 5. And this is LTS. There's no LTF. If I can figure out a way to flip her and figure out some LTF magic there with a sprint, we could have something really nice here with her. So I gotta appreciate Mike Sowers taking care of me on that. But I do want to say to you, Mr. Stat Boy. Again, first and foremost, thank you so much for joining me. Open invitation, man. Listen, if I'm ever live, now with this new software, I can kind of pull people in and out seamlessly. Before, it was like I got to have everything set up. I got to make sure I got the screens captured, or else it's just a shit show. But like I said, man, open invitation to you, anybody in the Big Brain. Same goes out to the stables, man. If you guys are ever seeing me stream, if you got a horse coming up and you want to talk about it, little promotion, little shout out, little smack talk. Open invitation to your brother anytime. You want to come on the official show with us on Thursday with Fib. You want to yell at Fib a little bit and kind of rustle his feathers. Now that you've been on the stream, if you're cool with it, come on over for the official show, man. Thursday we'll have a good time. But yeah, man, seriously, thank you again, for having me do this. I told you I would only do this up until football season, but I will tell you this was a lot of fun. If we could find ways to, amp this up a little bit, maybe we'll just work it around, and I'll just kind of keep the football game on in the background. And if the Jets score, I might get a little excited. You know what I mean? But we'll talk about that. So again, anybody in chat, make sure you're tracking down Statboy here over in Discord, and your Discord handle in the PFL, just so everybody's on the same page. I just want to make sure I got the right one here. Is BigBrain_Statboy, right?
Yep. Yes, sir.
All right, so you heard it here, chat. Track them down in Discord, and that's going to pretty much wrap it up. Again, thank you for anybody who joined. I don't know if I think there was a donation that came in earlier to my Solana wallet. Again, not necessary, but always appreciated. So thanks for the support. Thank you for the subs. There was a few of those. Thank you so much. Valkyrie, thank you so much again for the 5 gifted yesterday. And we will see you guys on the flip. Have a good day and good luck on the track. Peace.
Cheers. Bye.